Hello Pageant family, I'm the Pageant Nerd. Thanks for checking out my second preview video for Miss Universe 2023, which is happening in El Salvador on November 18. Not long now. If you haven't watched my first Miss Universe preview clip on this year's crossover Queen contenders, I thoroughly encourage you to do so after you've watched this one. I'll leave the link in the description. I don't know about you, but I'm super excited about this year's Miss Universe, even more than normal. Not only with the quality of the field that's assembling, but I'm very interested to see what the whole pageant looks like, especially finals night. Now we've had a full year of JKN Global Group's ownership of Miss Universe. JKN's Thai owner and Jakapong Jakrajutatip attended last year's pageant in New Orleans.
Sawadika! Hello, the universe! Woo!
But she'd only acquired the MUO a matter of weeks beforehand, so MU23 should finally have the JKN stamp all over it, rumoured current money issues notwithstanding. We've had a bunch of developments and announcements made by Kun Ann since her takeover, including the return of televised computer scoring after a 13-year absence. Now this announcement was made many months ago and I've personally not heard much more on it since then, so we'll have to wait and see if this indeed happens and in what format. Will we have a composite score only, as per the most recent instances, or will we see the judges' individual marks as well, as we did in the 1990s? Or will it be some other format? Who knows? Another major announcement has been the inclusion from this year onwards of married women and mothers for the first time since the pageant's very early days, with Miss Universe having barred them from competing in all but the first 4 editions. Pageant fans will know we've had an even more recent and jaw-dropping announcement that there'll be no upper age limit from the 2024 pageant onwards. That's a whole other video topic which I'll cover in more detail after this year's competition. Nevertheless, with the 2023 rule change, we'll already be seeing some married women and mothers competing in November, which has in part inspired the topic of this preview video, the trailblazing women who'll be competing on the Miss Universe stage in San Salvador. In addition to mothers and wives, we'll also be seeing the second ever trans woman and the first plus-size contestant. In today's video, I'll be previewing all these trailblazing women competing for the Miss Universe title and asking the question, do any of them stand a chance of actually winning? How does that sound? Good? Before we dive in, a super quick reminder to please hit subscribe if you haven't already, and if you enjoy this video, I'd love a thumbs up. Please and thank you. Alright, let's get started. It may have taken 6 years for the first trans woman to compete in Miss Universe after that rule change in 2012, and another 5 for the second. I'll get to that shortly. But the first married women and mothers will appear in the very first year of eligibility since the recent rule change. I don't know about you, but I'd originally thought that married women had never been able to compete in Miss Universe. But a newspaper article from 1957 linked to from Wikipedia seems to imply that married women were allowed to compete between 1952 and 1956. Or maybe by single, this meant not even dating. If anyone knows for sure, let us know in the comments. Anyway, it was in 1957 when the rule changed that we immediately had some related drama. Newly crowned Miss USA 1957, Leona Gage was discovered to be a twice married mother of 2 and was subsequently disqualified from Miss Universe. And that wasn't the only controversy Miss Universe has seen relating to women's marital and parental status. Helen Morgan of Wales placed first runner-up at Miss Universe 1974 and went on to win Miss World for the United Kingdom later that year. But the fact she was the mother of a young boy created such a scandal that she gave up the Miss World title 4 days after her crowning. That was despite motherhood not being against Miss World rules at the time. That wasn't the case at Miss Universe. In theory, had Helen's motherhood status been known to Miss Universe officials, she, like Leona Gage 17 years beforehand, would have been disqualified, let alone permitted to assume the 1974 Miss Universe title after Spain's Amparo Muñoz resigned midway through her reign. We've also had other instances where once it was revealed a delegate was pregnant during the pageant or during the Queen's year-long national reign, they were disqualified or dethroned. The occurrence at Miss Universe 1999, Guam's Tisha Heflin, even inspired the final question for the top 3 that year, resulting in Botswana's iconic crown-winning response.
If Miss Universe were to become pregnant during her reign, should she be allowed to continue as Miss Universe?
Personally, I think Miss Universe is a symbol of a woman as well. She's celebrating her femininity. And I believe that, thank you. And I believe that if she should fall pregnant, it will not in any way interrupt her duties. I believe that as a woman, she should celebrate her femininity. Thank you.
That's fine.
When I made this video, 2 women who were both married with children had won national titles, granting them entry into Miss Universe 2023. Let's have a look at them now. Camila Avella is proof positive that destiny is truly a remarkable thing, no matter where life takes you. Camila had made an earlier attempt to win her national title, but was ultimately barred from entering Señorita Colombia 2018, won by Gabriela Tafur, for failing to meet the eligibility requirements. By going on to marry Nassif Kamle in 2020 and having a baby girl Amelia 2 years ago, Camila had essentially given up on her Miss Universe dreams. That is, until the rule change in August last year that cleared the way for her to enter Miss Universe Colombia this year. As one of the title favourites, she swept all before her in Barranquilla, edging past another popular contender, Lina Maria Hurtado. Camila was a high-level tennis player growing up and is a social communications and journalism graduate from university. Pageant powerhouse Colombia is making its 66th attempt at Miss Universe. A 2-time winner on debut in 1958 and in 2014, the latter, Paulina Vega, ending a 56-year title drought, the second longest in Miss Universe history. With 18 top 5 placements overall, they've been named first runner-up an agonising 6 times, 3 years in a row in the 1990s and most recently 2017. Colombia is a 6-time winner of Best National Costume and 2-time Miss Photogenic. They made top 16 last year. By winning the Miss Universe Guatemala title on August 10, 23 days before fellow mum Camila Avella, model and TV presenter Michelle Cohen became the first mother in history to legitimately qualify for a Miss Universe pageant. 28-year-old Michelle, proud mother to a son Luca and daughter Bella, and married to Andres Mathieu since 2016, beat out 14 other contenders for the crown, earning the right to represent her Central American nation in neighbouring El Salvador. Michelle is one of a number of crossover queens appearing in this year's Miss Universe. She competed in the inaugural Miss Grand International in 2013 as an 18-year-old and went unplaced. Since then, Michelle studied media at university, started her own beachwear brand Luca, named after her son, and is an advocate for women's empowerment. Guatemala is making its 52nd appearance at Miss Universe, having placed 3 times previously, top 15 on debut in 1955 and 2 top 10s. In 1984, Ilma Urrutia went on to win Miss International later that year, and most recently in 2010, Jessica Schell only earned her place at Miss Universe after the original Miss Guatemala pulled out due to injury. Guatemala won Best National Costume in 1975. Coincidentally, the last time Miss Universe was held in El Salvador, and they also won Miss Congeniality in 2012. In an era still dominated by the excessive oversight of women's bodies, it's a win for the pageant world to have advanced its thinking and allow married women and mothers to compete. Having said that, will we see a mother or pregnant woman win this title? Especially interesting is the latter predicament. After all, it would mean that should a pregnant delegate win the title, she'd be giving birth during the year of her reign. We've had sitting prime ministers give birth during the course of their leadership, so I suppose why not? But on the point of existing mothers, responsibilities to a child or children could in theory be challenging for a reigning title holder. We've had several former title holders of the Miss Universe system, in other words, Miss Universes or Miss USAs, say how utterly grueling their year is. Often hugely fulfilling, but grueling nonetheless. That they basically lose any sense of independence with virtually every hour of every day planned by someone else. Women have proven themselves more than capable of balancing home and professional lives in many other fields. But Miss Universe is indeed a very unique job. Certainly one that's not Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. And perhaps more crucially, from the very moment the Queen is crowned, their job essentially begins. And within a few days they've already relocated to New York City, their home for the year of their reign. There's no time to go home, pack up their lives, and slowly ease into their new life. As has been shown in the past, with Mama Esther whisking the Queen off stage, the job of a lifetime beginning in an instant. Is it feasible for a mother to endure this, especially one of very young children? Does the Queen's spouse and or children move to New York as well, even at a later date? Will they travel the world with them? And will the Queen be permitted family time in amongst her official duties? The mothers set to compete for this year's title have said they're capable of handling the roles of mother, wife, and international title holder all at once. Will they be given the opportunity? We'll have to wait and see. In 2023, the second ever transgender contestant will represent her country at Miss Universe. The Netherlands' Ricky Colle follows the path blazed by Angela Ponce of Spain at Miss Universe 2018. And as I was making this video, Portugal's Marina Machete joined Ricky in qualifying for Miss Universe, making it 3 trans women to have competed in the pageant's history. As I mentioned earlier, transgender women have been permitted to compete in the Miss Universe system since 2012. It has nothing to do with the fact that new Miss Universe owner, Kun An, is a trans woman herself. For those of you who don't know, the rule change was sparked by the initial rejection of Jenna Talakova's entry into Miss Universe Canada 2012. Revisiting the media uproar that Jenna's situation caused, I was reminded that while there's still so much more to be done for transgender people, we've come a long way given the horrific line of questioning Jenna had to endure from seasoned American journalist Barbara Walters.
So if I saw you undressed, you would look like a woman to me, totally, yes?
Yes. She has a vagina. Looks like a woman.
Did you also have breast implants?
I have.
Did you have to change your voice?
I had to have the Adam's apple removed, and I did a lot of vocal training.
Jenna really did show a lot of courage to stand up for her rights and to pave the way for others. And given his current day anti-trans stance, it's interesting to realise that Donald Trump, then co-owner of the Miss Universe organisation, played a big part in allowing Jenna and future trans women to compete.
We looked at the laws of Canada and we looked at the laws of the United States, and every country is different, but it was obvious to us that she was entitled to compete.
If Jenna should win in Canada in that pageant, can she compete in the World Miss Universe pageant?
Yes.
In the future, can transgender women compete in Miss Universe?
Yes.
Jenna ended up placing top 12 at Miss Universe Canada, but it was another 6 years before the first trans woman won a national pageant and earned the right to compete at Miss Universe.
Ángela Ponce. Bravo.
Like Jenna before her, Spain's Ángela Ponce encountered a lot of opposition to her entry, this time internationally into Miss Universe 2018. But the reception she received in Bangkok was clearly worth it. She even cops heat for it to this day from fellow contestants of her year in Spain, but Ángela claps back better than most.
¿Y si yo eso lo puedo llevar al mundo? Yo no necesito ganar mi universo, solo necesito estar aquí.
Ángela Ponce didn't win Miss Universe 2018, nor did she place. But for the next trans contestants, will being here be enough? Let's have a look at the next trans woman who has her sights on this ultimate prize. 22-year-old Ricky Colle from Hoorn, north of Amsterdam, made history in July by becoming the first trans woman to win the Miss Nederland title, in doing so booking her ticket to El Salvador, the second trans woman after Spain's Ángela Ponce in 2018 to compete on the Miss Universe stage. Ricky changed her name from Rick at age 11 and started transitioning at 16. Age 17, she competed in Holland's Next Top Model, and the following year was a finalist in the Elite Model Look contest in the Netherlands. Before the Miss Nederland pageant, Ricky said, "I want to be a voice and role model for young women and queer people. Through my commitment and strength, I hope to bring about change in society." Despite the immediate excitement over her win, there's much more change still required. Ricky has revealed she's been viciously trolled online since her victory, though she's trying to focus on the positive, incredible support she's also received.
It's really difficult because you think you had a victory and now everyone is backlashing me and putting me down only for the person I want to be. For example, I didn't make like a fight with someone or said something wrong. I just Ricky, and I want to show the world Ricky, and of course my trans story, and being backlashed for that is really sad.
This is the Netherlands' 63rd Miss Universe campaign. Like many European countries, the Dutch were more successful last century, with Angela Visser's title in 1989, followed by Pauline Huizinga's first runner-up finish 2 years later. With 13 placements overall, in the past 30 years they've made the semis just twice, top 16 in 2011 and third runner-up in 2014. The Netherlands won Best National Costume in 1964 and Miss Photogenic in 1958 and 85. In the past couple of weeks, Marina Machete's victory in Miss Portugal against 15 other contenders means for the first time in its history, Miss Universe will feature 2 trans women competing in the same year. 28-year-old Marina, a flight attendant for the past 5 years, has been trying to qualify for her national pageant for some time, but 2023 was her first actual attempt. Not surprisingly, she's a human rights advocate, with Portugal making important strides in recent years in improving the rights available to trans people. Like Ricky Colle, Marina will be looking to secure the first ever placement for a trans woman in Miss Universe history. Should she do so, it would also be Portugal's 4th placement overall. Having debuted at Miss Universe in 1960, Portugal's first placement didn't come until 2011. but they've made the semis twice in the past 4 years, including 2022. This will be Portugal's 41st appearance in the pageant. Portugal won the Miss Congeniality Award in 1999, its only major special award to date. The acceptance of plus-size women in popular culture, advertising and indeed pageantry has been growing slowly, thanks to pioneering women in each of these fields. And now we have arguably the first plus-size woman competing on the Miss Universe stage. That's not to say we haven't seen any change in body type acceptance until now. Canada's Sierra Burchell wasn't exactly a plus-size woman when she competed in 2016. She merely didn't conform to the super slim ideals of years past. And didn't she attract her share of criticism for reaching the top 9? Some might say that Mariam Habach, Venezuela's unplaced bet that year, who called Sierra a fat placer years later, still had sour grapes on her shopping list. We've also had plus-size contestants making inroads elsewhere, namely the fabulous Emma Loney, who's competed at state and national pageants in the USA, and still has the dream of one day competing at Miss USA. But Nepal's Jane Garrett is making history by making it to the Miss Universe stage. Let's take a look. Another history-making national winner this year is none other than Jane Deepika Garrett, the first plus-size contestant to earn the right to compete at Miss Universe. It's truly exciting to see this history made by the Himalayan nation of Nepal, a relative newcomer to Miss Universe. Jane is a nurse and entrepreneur who advocates for hormonal health and mental health in women. With American and Nepalese heritage, Jane has lived in Washington, D.C. Dealing with anxiety and depression during the COVID lockdown, Jane has dedicated herself to helping others manage these conditions, while also teaching body positivity and self-love. Jane was uncertain she could be the one to make this breakthrough, but in the end her intelligence and eloquence sealed the deal at Miss Universe Nepal.
For me, standing on this stage and speaking my truth is success. If you would have seen me a few years ago, I was quiet, I was insecure, I had low self-esteem, I did not love myself. But I am here today, standing strong and bold.
After her victory, Jane added, "I truly believe I've broken the stereotype that winners must conform to a particular body type. Tall, slim and fit. This achievement is essential because every woman possesses unique beauty." Nepal is making only its 7th appearance at Miss Universe, having debuted in 2017. They have, however, already had a top 10 in 2018 and sent some strong delegates since then, but are still searching for that second placement. Just thought I'd mention the recent news affecting eligibility for next year's pageant. Outgoing Miss Universe Arabini Gabriel may not hold the record for the oldest Miss Universe for long, having advocated for an age increase in her winning run in New Orleans. Miss Universe has announced that from 2024 onwards, there is no upper age limit. That's anyone over 18. Yes, anyone. This is somewhat of a surprising outcome, as many had assumed that the age limit may be increased, but not removed altogether. I guess it essentially removes any potential criticism of Miss Universe's decision as to what's an appropriate cut-off age. Whether it actually results in numerous significantly older women winning national titles and competing at Miss Universe remains to be seen. Miss Supranational became the first major international pageant to increase its upper age limit to above 30 years. This year, it saw 32-year-old Brazilian Sancla France finish second runner-up, a full decade after she placed top 6 in Miss World 2013. The tide is turning, which is awesome, but how far will it turn? Will we soon see a married woman wear the Miss Universe crown? How about a mother, a trans woman, a mature woman, or a plus-size woman? I don't have the answer to any of these questions. As I said earlier, ultimately we'll have to wait and see if the increasing diversity of contestants and broadening eligibility criteria will actually lead to a greater diversity of winners. The reigning queen still needs to represent the Miss Universe brand, which under the new owners appears to carry even more responsibility to sell beverages, accessories, clothing, and who knows what else. Okay, that's all for today's preview of the Miss Universe 2023 Trailblazing contenders. Thanks for watching. I'll be back soon with more Miss Universe 2023 content. But in the meantime, I'm the Pageant Nerd. Bye for now.